What's up, y'all? Andrew and Sarah here. You are watching the So Thrift and So Clean YouTube channel. Now that our channel has launched and we've posted a video, we just thought it'd be a good idea to come back around and let you guys know like how we got into reselling and a little bit more about us. So about a year ago, a little over a year ago now, our lives kind of changed when we had our first daughter, and we started to kind of reprioritize and really figure out what's important to us. And I've been working at a corporate job for the last 5.5 years, or for a major corporation for the last 5.5 years, which really takes up a lot of my time. Pays very, very well, has provided a lot for our family, but just took me away from home and didn't get to spend as much time with Sarah and our daughter Sydney as I'd like. So we started trying to figure out ways of how we could get out of that. So another major part of our lives is CrossFit. We joined a CrossFit gym almost a year ago now. Yeah. So I've always been into fitness. I have a degree in exercise science. I've always really enjoyed just health and fitness and all that. So got an opportunity to start coaching at that gym, and I absolutely love it. It is one of the coolest things I think I get to go do every day. That also kind of was a driver for getting out of corporate America. I started to realize like you don't have to come home from work not liking your job every day. You can be excited to get up and go to your job. However, with CrossFit, as you can imagine, like for right now, just isn't gonna pay me anywhere near what my corporate job pays me. So I started thinking about, okay, what can we do as a supplemental income? Like what can we do as another business to kind of put us in a position where I can leave my corporate job. So that's when I turned to Sarah and kind of told her to start brainstorming ideas and trying to figure out what she could come up with. So what made you land on reselling?
Well, before we go into that, I kind of wanted to go back into I feel like a lot kind of like snowballed and kicked us off into like you leaving where you work now, and being home more. But also another thing is I currently work for a nonprofit and I've loved it. I've worked there for about 3.5 years now, and I think at one point you said, you've never like enjoyed working where you worked until now. And then
Sorry,
coaching CrossFit.
Gunner's just going on. That's in the background. You'll hear some weird dog noises. Apologies. That's all it is.
He's always with us.
Our dog likes to make a lot of noise, so if you hear some weird huffing and puffing and
it's not
barking
us.
in the background, it's Gunner.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's when I started to that's when I heard you the most, is when you said like you've never like enjoyed what you do. And right now I work for a humane society. I get to do like marketing and graphic design, and I get to see puppies and kittens all day. So basically it's my dream come true.
And with that, like my job isn't like, don't get me wrong, my job has provided a lot for us over the years.
Yeah,
I'm
we're very grateful.
For it. But it just, not enjoying, like I get up excited to go coach.
Yeah, and then kind of we came across CrossFit, and you started coaching, and I could see it like in you, like how much passion you had for it and how much you loved it. And so while we knew that me working where I work and you coaching CrossFit wasn't enough, that's when we kind of were like, let's figure something else out to add in on the side so that you could leave. And I remember, so Andrew's been working weekend nights since over a year ago, but since we've had Sydney, that's been something, it's been a struggle. Like I've hated him being gone at nights. I could go on and on about that, but I remember it very specifically. One Saturday before he left for work, he said, let's brainstorm, like I'll be at work and you be at home, let's brainstorm like what we could do like to bring in more income. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I think I was on TikTok that night, and I came across like a girl I still follow actually, and she was talking about how she resells on Poshmark and eBay. And I don't know what, like, it just kind of clicked for me. I was like, oh, well, I could start selling like stuff out of my closet. Like I know that I didn't think like we would start a reselling business at that time. I thought I thought I have a bunch of clothes I don't wear and stuff around.
Hold on, let me rephrase that. A bunch is an understatement. I can't tell you how many clothes are in that closet that have tags that have never been worn before.
Okay.
Or maybe worn once.
Okay, yeah.
So yes,
I like shopping.
We had plenty of inventory to get us kicked off. Let's just put it at that.
Okay. Well, let me piggyback on that, though, because a lot of the stuff... So I've already always been a thrifter. Like, I love going to thrift stores. I love going to the clearance section in stores. It's just how I was raised. So while I did have a lot of clothes, they were all, like, great bargains. I don't want to come across as, like, spend a ton of money on clothes all the time.
I guess that's fair.
But I did have a lot that I wasn't wearing. I can admit that. And so I just started grabbing stuff out of my closet, and I listed it on just Facebook at first. And I was like, oh, let's see how this goes. And I started getting, like, orders way more than I thought, and I learned how to ship them out and that whole process. And but even still, I guess I lacked the confidence to really turn it into like a business. And that's where Andrew's personality comes in, and he was like, well, let's do this, like, let's really do this.
So I don't know, I think one of the coolest parts is like we started out that first month, because it's been what, 5 months now?
Well, it was the beginning of December we started.
So I set a goal. I was like, because we had like 30 something items listed, and I was like, we want to get to 50 by the end of the month. Like 50 is our goal. Like we're gonna hit 50.
It felt such like,
and it was like trying to get to 50. It seemed like crazy, but what's nuts is like we're at over close to 500 now. Like in 4 months we're at 500. Like it's crazy. Like what like Sarah's been able to do with the business, and like drive it and like source and find things, and like it blows my mind where we're at already. We got a long ways to go, don't get me wrong. Like we're still getting started. Like I have visions of growing this into like something really big, making us like a lot of money someday.
But I think that's where, because I wrote a blog post about this, if it were just me, it wouldn't be a business. Like Andrew has
still, like what you started with is still a business.
It's still, I know, but for me, I was doing it on the side to bring in a little extra money, and you have the vision and the drive to, I don't know, I guess maybe it's like I said, a lack of confidence to really like kick it into gear and say like, okay, we're a business, like let's do this.
Well, regardless of what Sarah says, she's been just as much a part of growing it as I have. I don't like, yeah, I might be okay with like the business stuff and all that, but like I don't know half of what she knows about like the brands and finding stuff and sourcing. And I'll be honest, you take me to the Goodwill bins, I'm good for like 45 minutes and I'm out. Like I'm done.
I could have stayed there all day.
So like that's the type of stuff that like without Sarah I wouldn't be able to grow this business. Like it's kind of weird because like I go and I coach and I'm passionate about that and I love it. And I come home and I resell clothes, and I don't care about clothes at all. On like just being honest, like full transparency. But I absolutely love like the hustle and like the drive that it takes. So like I do enjoy reselling. Like I think it's a blast. Like when you find that item and then you get a notification that it's sold for like a crazy amount of money, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody paid that for this. Like this is awesome. Yeah. So like I absolutely love the hustle and like the challenge of it, if that makes sense. So for me, like whether it was reselling clothes or whatever it is, like I think that's where I find like the joy in it, where without Sarah, like I don't know that I would have found like that thing, right? Like I don't know that I would have started my own business per se, and like I feel like it took both of us and like both of us enjoy to really strengths. Like get it going.
Yeah, and like I said before, like I've always loved thrifting. So when Andrew was like, "Well, let's turn this into a business. Like let's, start sourcing." Like I was like, "Oh, I get to go shopping!" Like it was like so exciting.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard, "Oh, I that would fit me. Oh, I'd like that."
Well,
it's not how it works.
That's why it's not how it works. But I mean, I've always grown up like loving shopping. That's what me and my sister and my mom like have always done growing up. It's still just like one of our hobbies. So the fact that I get to do it as a job and I get to find good deals and then hopefully provide other people with good deals, because I think we've found some pretty cool stuff, and even selling it for a profit, I love to think that our buyers are also feeling like they got a great item for less than they pay in the store. So I feel like it's a win-win. So yeah, that's how we got started.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's crazy to think like where we're at now from where we started. Like don't get me wrong, there's still a lot to learn. Like I learn a lot every day. Like it helped like being in the job that I was in. I forgot to mention too, like I just put in my notice at my job.
Yes.
So this week will be my last week there, before it's like go time, like do everything we can to like build the business, coaching CrossFit, everything. Like, so yeah, in another week, I'm leaving corporate America and, I guess finding happiness, really. Like that's what it boils down to. Like a lot of people choose money over happiness, I think every day. And I just hope at some point most people realize like money isn't enough. Like money's not going to get you there. I've been very, very fortunate in the last 5.5 years to be able to provide a house and get married and have our daughter and do all these things. And that's great. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I get, like you have to put food on the table and provide for your family no matter what situation you're in. But you know, if you set yourself up well and have goals and you know, you're driven and you can get to that spot where like right now I feel pretty comfortable walking away from that salary, to try to build an even better life than we have now. Like our life is great by all means. Like
I think that's what, like, it's great, and that's why we want to like spend more time as a family. Like we wanted the chance to spend more time together with our daughter, because when you were working and I was working, it felt like either I had Sydney or you had Sydney. There was not a lot of time where the three of us were together as a family, and that's what we were craving. So so grateful for the opportunities we've had to set us up for you to be able to leave. And then hopefully, I mean, we, like you said, we plan on growing the reselling business like so much bigger. It's only been a few months and we've already seen a huge growth. So
I mean, like there'll be sacrifices. Like right now, we like you're gonna have to make sacrifices to that, but like you just have to look at the big picture and think, is it worth it for me? And I promise you the answer is yes. Like it'll be worth it, because at the end of the day, like no matter what, you're gonna find a way to make it work. It doesn't matter, you know, as long as you're driven and have the right attitude, like you'll find a way to make it work. And I'm confident. Like we didn't get to where we're at right now by sitting back and not, you know, making things happen. Yeah. So like I'm fully confident that we're gonna do the same thing in this next chapter, right? Like, you know, the money will come. I'm super excited about where things are headed. And yeah, just overall things are gonna be better for us.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that was kind of like a little scrambled, but I hope it came across. Yeah, like why we started, what made us get to the point we're at now. I like to think about like the first like couple weeks I was doing it. Like I said, I pulled stuff from my closet, and we're in our upstairs like workspace right now. And I remember I had this like pile of clothes. I could have put them in less than a garbage bag. And I put them in a pile up here, and I was like, this is kind of where I'll set stuff up. And at that point, that overwhelmed me. And now, like, I'm looking at, like, our shipping station and, like, all of our clothes over in this corner. Like,
if you saw, like, what our upstairs looked like 4 or 5 months ago to now, like, it'd blow your mind. Maybe we'll do a video of, like, an office tour at some point, but that'll be for another day.
Well, I wish I had more photos of, like, what it looked like before and what it's transformed into. And I think it just, like
it's like volumes. Full on like a little like office slash I mean, I don't want to say warehouse obviously, because I currently work in a warehouse and it's massive, but this is just I don't know what, probably 800 square foot space, but it's it's crazy what it's transformed into. But, so anyway,
our daughter's up.
So we should probably go tend to her. She would probably like that. She'd
appreciate that.
So yeah, here on the So Thrift and So Clean channel, you can find us on Instagram at So Thrift and So Clean. If you liked what you saw, please hit that like and subscribe button and follow along for more about our journey. Yeah, and we'd love to do more videos, so if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments, and maybe we'll do like a Q&A if we get enough. In case we left anything out, we'd love to answer those questions. So sweet, just want to add that in there. All right, thank you, Andrew and Sarah out. Bye.